So one of the first sets of questions that people have when they get the collaborative video individual essay assignment is, how exactly are we supposed to make these movies anyways? Well, this short video is an effort to hopefully ease your mind a little bit. So the first question you probably have is, well, what am I supposed to do for a camera? How am I supposed to film this? The first option is, if you have a video camera already, then you're all set. And it's a pretty good chance that there's a fair amount of you that actually do have a video camera. And it doesn't have to be a particularly fancy camera at all for this to work. Almost any camera, as long as you can hook it up to a computer, will be just fine. The second option is that many of you may actually have a video camera and not even realize it. This is because most digital cameras even fairly low-end digital cameras, actually can record video up to 5 or 10 minutes worth of video, which is all you really need for this project. Some of these cameras, I bought one a couple years ago, actually will record video and audio, and they'll do it fairly well. So if you may actually want to check out your digital camera, you may have those features already. If you have a relatively new computer, you probably have a camera built into it, a webcam, if you will. This is how I've recorded most of my videos for class talks, is through the camera that's built right into either my desktop computer or my laptop. Now, it's not ideal because you can't really use that to film action and actors and that sort of thing, but it is useful for the kind of videos that I have done where I'm just talking to the camera, or maybe some other effects that you can use those for, at least for some of your filming. And last but not least, I have some cameras to loan out. I have, in the English department, we have some of these flip video cameras, which are very, very simple cameras. They're basically plug into a USB port on your computer, and they take kind of bad audio and kind of bad video, but it's all you really need for our projects. And I also have some somewhat better video cameras that Canon. I've got 3 of those that I can loan out as well. So the next step is the other aspects of it. Just a couple of tips before we get to the acting out and budget issues. You want to record these videos in a relatively bright and quiet space. You'll notice, for example, that in the videos that I make for class, when I film them in the basement, it's awfully dark down there. And so the brighter the room, the better off you're going to be. Or if you do it outside, the better off you're going to be. But you do want to pick some place where there's a minimum of background noise, because background noise does get picked up pretty easily by these cameras. By the way, good sound is hard. In fact, it's a lot easier to just shoot pictures than it is to record sound. But don't worry about it. As long as the sound is as good as you can make it, it'll be fine. But don't be surprised if you're a little bit disappointed by the quality of the sound, especially if you try to record this, make your videos in any place like that where there's a lot of background noise. Now, these videos need to include some version of people acting out things. You can't just have words on the screen. It's got to be, as I showed in the example, some sort of presentation with people in it. But there's a lot of ways that you can act this stuff out. For example, I had a group one time that used puppets, and that would be just fine. And there's a lot of ways that you can act as well. We're not making great art here. So if the acting quality is only so-so, well, don't worry about it and have fun with it. Remember that really the goal of these movies is to make movies that basically have a zero budget. If you spend more than $20 to make your movie, you've spent way, way too much. So use things around the house, use things around that you have at hand. Don't do anything like go out and buy props or buy things. Make them yourself. So you got your filming. Now it's a question of putting the final product together, to edit it into a form that you want to show to everybody else. Well, you may be surprised to know this, but you probably already have the software that can do this. If you have a Windows or Vista computer, you have a software built into it called Movie Maker. If you have an Apple computer, you have a software built into it called iMovie. Both of these are very user-friendly, very simple to use pieces of software that can do some fairly sophisticated editing techniques. The best way to learn how to use these softwares is to go out and shoot some film, shoot some video, plug it into the computer, upload it, and play around with it. Because if you treat this kind of like a video game, there's a better chance that you're going to learn actually how these software works. But if you're someone who needs instructions, there's lots of online help for this thing, these softwares too. All you have to do is do a search for Movie Maker and help on any website, or through Google search rather, and you're certain to come up with good advice. And I can help with that part of the project too. All you have to do is set up a time to meet with me, and I'll sit down with you and help you work through either one of these software packages. I'm a lot more familiar with iMovie than I am with Windows, but I'd be happy to learn how the Windows Movie Maker works as well. And then the action, which is how do we get this for everybody else to see? Well, someone in your group is going to have to upload it to YouTube, or if you prefer, you can give it to me in some fashion and I'll upload it to YouTube for you. To do this, all you have to do is export the movie that you make from either Movie Maker or iMovie into a .mov or I think it's MVI format. But don't worry about those technicalities now. Getting stuff up on YouTube is really, really easy. And I think that you'll be surprised after we get through this how easy actually some of the technical aspects of movie making for this project really are.